What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 11 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. Attention Naggarond Inc. workers. With the recent firing of some of your colleagues, their responsibilities have been transferred to you. On an unrelated note, some of you have been promoted to work in the Hydra pens. We hope you enjoy the coveted position of feeding the Hydras yourselves. Anyway, as we saw last time, Wulfric the Wanderer's armies arrived in the Broken Lands, only to be broken themselves as we managed to throw them back to the sea. This worked out quite well for us in terms of money and XP and getting some really lovely battles out of the game, so generally speaking, I'm pretty happy about the whole situation. It's also very appropriate that Wulfric came to the Broken Lands, or to Naggarond Kar, known also as Slaver's Gate, where the reaving fleets of the Dark Elves hold their sell their slaves at market, and thus the auction blocks are now full of those Norskin steroided up warriors, or Chaos steroided up Norskin warriors. I guess Wulfric came for some misery takeout, and well, Naggarond Inc. provided. Actually, I had an idea about Wulfric after the episode was over, and here's what we're going to do about him. We're not done with him yet. Now, there is a little tiny army here, but that's not what I'm thinking of. So, by virtue of the fact that he just lost 2 or 3 armies, he should be considerably weaker, and let me just check this. Yes, he's willing to peace out, but that's not what I really care about right now. What I care about is that when an AI gets weaker, it's generally more likely to get other AIs to attack it. So World Walkers minus 7.4. Okay, that's not horrible. What if we join your war against the Ropsman clan, who are an irrelevant minor faction? Getting there. And what about Ostland? Because also a minor faction that we don't really care about. 0.1, but we don't have the money. Okay. Here's what we'll do. We're going to cancel a building. I believe we were building iron here in Hotek's column, which is cheap. This should be sufficient. Then, we're gonna screw over Wulfric, and by forcing him and Throg to fight each other, while we deal with our own territories. Ostland and Ropsman clan, yes? And 400 money, yes. Then, that, by virtue of having the second strongest faction, being Throg, declare war on Wulfric, should make Wulfric a lot weaker even further, and thus more likely to peace out with us. Now up to 12, which we're going to do, and get 3.2k money. So, not only did we just make a bunch of cash, but we also forced Throg and Wulfric to fight each other. I think that's a pretty good turnaround. I used to not do diplomacy as much, but in a few of my recent campaigns, I've been really taking advantage of the diplomacy capabilities, and I think there's certainly some fun stuff that you can do, so I'm a little bit happier with it. Then, I know that we're at peace, but we're going to tell you to get the heck out of our territory, and with the trespass warning, and we can declare war on them if they stay and raid us, and maybe they'll try to leave, but who knows, maybe they don't. Either way, I think we get a benefit out of it. Beautiful. And then we can build that iron right back up. Yes? Now let's also repair the Black Fortress, Hotek's column, iron, and Black Forests. Let's get you the Artisan's House. I believe we also didn't continue building the Circle of Destruction, so we'll buff you up, or build you up, rather, and then we're good. Alrighty, now in terms of what we gotta do this time around, first of all, Crone Hellebron, I think you're ready for your quest battle, mostly because we need the public order to fix the public order in everywhere right now, because of the unhappy populace nonsense, so we'll be doing that. Malekith will be moving down to the Witchwood himself, and we still have the little forces of chaos up here to contend with, and to get Hellebron her army. Granted, I'd love for these forces to be in it for the battle for the Death Sword and the Cursed Blade, but let's see. I mean, we can handle the Beastmen. I guess it depends on what the reinforcements are. I trust in Hellebron. She can do it, I think. We'll see. I think we should fight while we're here, because we won't be able to fight once we're at sea. Before we get to that quest battle, however, we have once again reached the threshold as appropriate. The 300 comments, 300 comments, yeah. 300 likes and 30 comments, so accelerated uploads continue, and the offer stands, so drop them if you're interested in seeing this uploaded more often. Anyway, let's buff up the army of Hellebron, and then we attack for her sword. Witch Brew, Secrets of the Cauldron, 15% HP should be very considerable with the regeneration that she has. The other possibility rather is we could start upgrading, for example. Oh wait, we have Slaughterlord maxed out, so we don't really need anything else at the current time, do we? Alright, we could also go through the favor of the Blood Queen, but it will kind of screw up our relationship with the Cult of Pleasure. You know what? And just to double check, how happy is the Cult of Pleasure with us right now? They are rising to plus 48, which is not bad. It's not bad. They are nearly ready for a non-aggression pack. You know what? I think we'll wait until we get a non-aggression pack going with them for the Blood Queen thing, because obviously Helebron hates Morathi, because Morathi keeps the secrets of eternal youth hidden from her. And Crone Helebron is a crone until she bathes in the blood of Cain. Secrets of the Cauldron for you, and I guess we'll just use the Sacred Cauldron as a second cauldron as well, though it is a Sacred Cauldron in addition. Death Hag number 1, I should say, because we will be wanting to get a second one. We'll be getting... I still haven't decided between Rune of Cain and Witch Brew. I'm still not entirely sure which one would be more effective on the Cauldron of Blood. The weapon strength is relatively low on the Cauldron of Blood, so I feel like the Witch Brew would be relatively inferior on it, and would be better when you're on foot instead. The Cry of War is completely useless because the Cause Terror is already something we have in the Cauldron. I feel like Rune of Cain is probably just going to be the better thing to have, but I'll think about it. Either way, that doesn't change the fact that we need to apply points, and we're going to start moving through. Honestly, Promises of Bloodshed isn't all that useful, but... Dripping Blades, armor-piercing weapon damage when defending enemy armies in region. Armor when attacking enemies, and more importantly, buffs for Witch Elves. I think we have to head towards this because they're going to be a big part of our army. So let's get Scent of Slaughter, and then we'll move through the other stuff here afterwards. Yeah, Scent of Slaughter first. We need 4 points in this, so we'll get there fairly quickly. Swell. Alright, that's for the Death Hag. Now, Masters, you're up next. We are... I do want to get Unbreakable. So, you're Worm Scale, so we don't necessarily have to keep you in this army. Your Weapon Master plus Worm Scale, so you're a pretty strong fighter, but the Blood Scourge one is the one that's definitely going to stay in Helebron's stack. Scent of the Cold-Blooded Weapon, Strength for Cold One Knights, Cold One Dread Knights, Cold One Chariots. Yeah, interesting, but, Did I also put you back in the Cold Ones? Yes, indeed I did. Alright, let's get above Suspicion for you, and I guess we're still going to go for Knightly Prestige and Pain Compliance. I mean, I guess we're going to have to max out both of these, huh? Alright, let's get 2 points in Knightly Prestige for now, and then we'll get 2 points in Pain Compliance, and then Trusted Retainer afterwards. And I guess both of you are going to do the same thing, just to buffer up. Let's do Knightly Prestige first on you, even at the cost of slightly less capabilities in terms of damaging enemies. You are going to need Flock of Doom. This is why we got you in this army, though I just want to quickly double-check about a new Sorceress. Cruel and Malicious. Those all sound swell, but not what we need in the army right now. And Death Hags, now still only Shadows of Naggarond. Alright, looks like we're good to go. Let's put you into Druk... Wait, are you able to do quest battles in Druchii First Strike? No. No stances at all. Damn. A shame. And here I just wanted to Vanguard deploy while in quest battle. Alright, I am going to give this a quick read this time, however, if I can find the quest text. There we go. The twin weapons of the Blood Queen have severed one head too many. Their cruel steel has dulled after years of bloodletting, for the secrets of their endurance and renewal are jealously guarded by Morathi, first of the Hag Queens. It is she who also denies Crone Helebron the gift of life eternal. The time has come for Helebron to learn both rights. If it's war the Whore Queen wants, it's war she will get. In glorious bloody battle, the Death Sword and the Cursed Blade will sing again. Then, at long last, the Murderess of Cain will tear the secrets of eternal youth and beauty from her hated opposite. Alrighty, let's teleport. And yes, I'm sure. Alrighty, Pyrrhic Victory Medium, what do we have in terms of reinforcements? Ooh, Morathi sending some reinforcements in to attack us, huh? Interesting. I mean, it's not Morathi herself, mind you, but I take it they are working together with the Beastmen here. Huh. It would be fun if this little army had Slangors in it, and these were Slaneshi-devoted Dark Elves. Now, the issue here is going to be the fact that they have 4 pieces of artillery, and we have none, so the Manticore is going to have to work overtime in order to knock those out. Hopefully there will be some trees in order to hide our basic forces in, so that we don't get ripped apart by the Reaper Bolt Throwers, but we're going to have to wait and see. Here we go. Druki under Marathi's dominion intercept the Blood Queen's retinue. Helebron is unconcerned, for the time of murder is at hand, and for every enemy throat severed and dedicated to Cain, her twin blades will find their edge once more. Yet this battle, like all events leading up to it, is of Marathi's machinations. Nothing should be taken as it seems.
Hear me, Cain. I dedicate all the following deaths to you. Give me your bloody hand so I may hold it, and let it guide me to victory. My retainers advise caution, but I am no coward. The first slash is the sweetest, and I always strike first.
Alrighty, well, you always strike first, and your Death Hag has a first strike, or a Druki strike, or something like that on her passive, and, well, we certainly like the Druki first strike stance as well, so we can lean into that. Anyway, looking like a pretty interesting quest already. We have 3 armies arrayed before us, 2 Dark Elf armies on opposite sides of this central ridge line, or hill line, and ooh, look at that. Nice little temple of chaos out here, and I like the eye on the sort of on the circle there, as well as the Chaos Gate. Very nice, very nice. We are going to, I guess, have to take out the Beastmen first, and then essentially go to one side of the hill to take out one of the armies, rather than getting bombarded from 2 directions by both. Also, before we get started, somebody asked me to take a look at what Murderous Prowess does, and it activates when we get a specific number of kills, giving us several stages of various kinds of buffs: Vigor, melee attack, charge bonus, armor piercing, and missile damage, leadership, and then even further at stage 2. And the buffs are fairly strong. Vigor is particularly strong in SFO, but generally speaking, the leadership and the melee attack, as well as the missile damage, can all come in very, very handy. Plus, on top of that, certain units like the Harganeth Executioners and the Witch Elves have Murderous Mastery instead, which get a essentially stronger ability than the regular Murderous Prowess, with increased buffs. And obviously, the Helebron army in particular is going to get particularly good amounts of value out of that. Anyway, that's about it. Let's begin. We're going to take our formation fast as we can here, and then we're gonna fight. Looks like we got a very nice lighting in this particular map as well, so everything will be nice and visible. Also, this is, I guess, the first time that we're going to be seeing Helebron on that Manticore, so we'll see how well she can do. As I said, Manticores are holy to Cain, so it does make sense that she has one. I'm not 100% sure whether it's actually better than the Blood Cauldrons, but since we're going to have the multiple Blood Cauldrons in this army anyway on the Death Hags, it makes sense that Helebron can go in and assassinate lords, rather than being an infantry blender like the rest of the Death Hags. Also, it's a pretty darn cool model with the Manticore armored up with the Dark Elf armor, rather than the Chaos Feral Manticores that we're normally used to seeing. Lovely. Anyway, keep it up, Helebron. Go towards the enemy, or at least cover around while we figure out what we do. Looks like the Beastmen are booking it towards us very quickly, and I was hoping to get Helebron to go kill the sorceresses and maybe even take out the enemy artillery before they can get to us, but fortunately the enemy artillery is at the current time deployed too far away from us, so we're going to fight the Beastmen first instead, and then move on to the sorceresses and the arty afterwards. Alrighty, so Helebron's gonna come back, especially as she's now sighted the Beastmen, a lot of whom were hidden and invisible while they approached. Alright, and the battle shall be joined here on the flanks first, as some Centaurs move in and the Masters book it down the hill to countercharge them, so that they cannot charge into our main line. Alright, some Hounds of Pestilence moving in towards the Masters, but the flank should be protected for a fairly long time by these Masters and allow our melee and ranged infantry to get to work without too many concerns. That said, there's a lot more units over on this side than I was expecting, so we're going to slightly adjust our troops to essentially just block off any enemy Gores and Ungores before they can get to us. There we go, and it's Gores and Ungores, not war, in this particular case. Alrighty, and ooh, there's a Doom Bull right there, looking pretty angry, but we will send the Hargoneth Executioners with their armor-piercing damage to surround and kill the Doom Bull. Granted, they're probably better off at mincing weaker enemy infantry, or maybe going after the enemy Centaurs, but we don't really have anybody who can take care of the Doom Bull nearby at the current time, since the Masters are busy. The Blood Cauldron of Cain and the Death Hag are in the middle of the enemy formation, where the enemy Bestigors are, and the Bestigors are the best that the enemy has to offer, so we definitely need to focus them down, and thus the Death Hag plus the ability from Hellebrand, who's chasing around the enemy Beast Lord right now, as well as focus fire from our range. Really got to work on these Beastmen as quick as we can before the Dark Elves get here to reinforce, and I do believe they have started moving. Some Hands of Pestilence trying to get through, but fortunately we do have enough melee troops in this particular army to prevent them from doing so. Hellebrand lands and is going to go after that Beast Lord, who's down to about a third of his HP. Unfortunately, even with the Death Hag here, the Bestigors have managed to see off our first unit of Dread Spears. They are only Dread Spears after all, and thus relatively weak, but it looks like the Beast Lord has basically been destroyed by Hellebrand, and the Bestigors will be seen off by focus fire from all that armor piercing on those Dark Shards. The Hargoneth Executioners have managed to take care of the Doom Bull, at the very least damage it heavily. Gorbull, rather. Though it did take some losses, it's probably worth it, as it's probably the biggest threat on the field that the enemy had. Ooh, we can also see we're starting to take damage from the enemy artillery as the first of the enemy Dark Elf armies have moved in. Fortunately, the Masters, though they did take some damage, did manage to keep the Centaurs away, especially once they had some Dread Spears move in to help out. And now just a matter of taking care of these Hounds of Pestilence before we can move on. And oh wow, the Hounds look fantastic with the graphic settings I have. Look at these guys, damn. Now I want to play a Chaos faction. Wow. Impressive. I mean, they were always pretty cool models, but the poison glow looks fantastic with the graphical changes. Yes, I am happy. Alrighty, well, with the Hands of Pestilence out, it is time to move because of the Gorbull. I'm so stupid. The enemy Dark Elf force, or force number 1, is our target. Hellebrand's going to head directly towards the enemy Supreme Sorceress, whereas the others of our forces are going to head towards the enemy artillery. Whereas with regards to the second enemy force, as we can see, we're just going to back off as best we can so that the artillery cannot reach us and deal with them afterwards. Looks like the enemy army has activated its murderous prowess, and we're nearly there ourselves. Alright, come on game, stop edging us. Just a little bit more. The Gorbull is coming back, but the Death Hag has sighted him, and Morathi, I believe, has, or is about to land somewhere, as she was looking for the enemy sorcerers. Oh, she's hovering overhead, casting that Rage ability. Alright, I want to see the Manticore fight a little bit. And we should be able to take care of the sorceress fairly quick, and at least stop her casting all of those chill winds that she's been casting. It's pretty spammable. Wow, one hit and she's down to about half HP. Yeah, Hellebrand's going to move through the sorceress fairly quick at this rate. And another hit, down to about 10% or maybe less HP. Fantastic. Well, Hellebrand will be a heck of an assassin like this. 3 hits, 1 kill. Beautiful job. Alrighty. And let's see how this army is looking. Pretty poor, as we finally activated our murderous prowess and mastery in the case of the executioners, though they are starting to suffer quite a bit, down to only about 13 models. I've been sending them right where the fighting is thickest, but you know what? That's where they like to be. Anyway, looks like with the death of the enemy lord and the severe damage the rest of this army has suffered, the second army is destroyed, and we're 2 out of 3, and are now going to switch to the other. Hellebrand will obviously to head towards the second sorceress here, and as we've seen, she should make quick work of her. But otherwise, we need to try to get towards those damn artillery pieces to silence them as fast as we can. Have very few units moving around currently on this side of the map, so they're going to need to hold. Oh, I do like this Rebel faction's color scheme, though. That's quite nice. Soothing color scheme. Plus the bright arterial blood splashing among or on that I don't know, lilac grayish color should look very nice. I think everybody would appreciate that. Anyway, Morathi, that's not right. Hellebron, rather, she'd be pissed about that. Hellebron uses her Pit of Shades, or discount Pit of Shades, while she goes after the Supreme Sorceress of Fire, who is just about done for. The Pit of Shades is also taking care of 2 units in a single cast. The second Sorceress goes down, and damn, these Sorks drop quick for Hellebron. She's going to then move on towards the Reaper Bolthors and whatever remains, but it looks like the battle is pretty much ours. That said, what an absolute slaughter. There has been lots of damage on both sides. A lot of our units are badly hurt as well throughout, but a great battle. What a fun fight. And everybody got to play. All of our units got to shine for their particular purposes. Alright, Hellebron, explode a few more of those poor infantry, and I believe with that, this last unit shatters, and the battle is ours. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'd honestly love to play this quest again. Because of I like the locale here. Everything is nice and visible and not dark, and it was just a really fun fight with the way that the enemy had spread out. I wonder if there was a better way of doing that, like heading down to this side immediately and ignoring this side completely. That said, that would have allowed them to take the hill, so I'm not sure. Obviously a Pyrrhic victory, but SFO upgrades the reward, so we're going to be able to heal up very, very quickly in a single turn, or possibly a little bit, or possibly 2 turns depending. Let's find out. Alrighty, that was really fun. I think that was one of my favorite quest battles in recent times. I really like the quest design where it essentially forces you to choose where to go and not just directly attack the enemies, at least with a relatively early game army. Essentially go to one side of the hill and destroy one of the armies before they can bombard you, and allow the hill to protect your flanks from the second army's artillery. And then of course the beastmen working together with the Dark Elves as well. Fun, because it's always enjoyable to watch multiple factions work together. Let's see, we got 728 slaves, so 2 turns worth of slaves for this battle. Not too bad at all, and we're obviously going to take that. Like so. Alrighty, enemy hero success chance minus 10% bodyguard. I don't think we care about those, but I guess it's nice that you guys have them, and there we go. And DEATHSWORD and the Curse Blade. Passive ability gives us a sort of Mortis Engine effect for enemies that are losing melee combat. Can affect 1 entity, so I guess we'll be using it for Lord entities. Affects enemies in range all. Oh, it does affect everybody in range, but it just picks 1 by 1. Okay, so best for duels, I take it. Magical attacks, always nice. Melee attack and defense arise, and vigor loss reduction as well. Though I think from Lord's vigor loss reduction will eventually become irrelevant by virtue of the fact that they will all get perfect vigor. Anyway, this is what we wanted and why we did this right now. Casualty replenishment increases to plus 25% faction-wide per turn, and control 25 for all provinces. It's all great, and the control should counteract the negative control issues that we've been having, and due to all the, well, debuffs. Anyway, Hellebron, you are going to actually move through our own territory, and you're going to leave the place at Blacklight Tavern. We will have Mr. Admiral Valal follow you. Also should double check whether we can build anything in this Black Ark, but stay here for now, or at least relatively close to Helebron, where hopefully you can't get attacked by anything again. And Helebron will be more or less full HP, and she is moving up here to deal with, or to get the other units. And in fact, you know what, we need 2 more Witch Elves in here, so let's do that. Expensive though they may be, but they'll be a lot cheaper in Helebron's armies, so that's just fine. Do you have the capability of building anything? No, not yet. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. Alright, well, if we're not doing anything with you, we'll do stuff with other things. What else do we have here? Sagales, oh right. There have been a few comments asking me to name him to Steven Sagales, so we'll do that, like so. Alright, I was actually going to delete him, but, well, you know what, while we're building Kane buildings, he can stick around. We could always rename another one to Steven Sagales if we really wanted to. You can also because we could stimulate growth on you. You're more of a... Control +2, own local province and income from slaves, eh? That might be reasonably useful for a little while. Alright, fine, let's get you stimulate growth, because all of these other things aren't going to be super useful to you. I guess assault units in theory might be useful as well, and because we have a little army here, but it's not really doing anything, so it's hardly concerning. Honestly, once the Witch Elves are complete, we could actually probably take these guys out, including Harry the Hammer, though I imagine he's probably going to be running away relatively soon. And Jaden, stay here for a turn or two, but I'd love to transfer the Crows of Cain to Helebron and probably the Bolt Fiends to Malekith? Maybe. Moransti, you are going to continue ambushing in the hopes that Silostra comes by, and I guess we gotta spend the rest of our cash. Alrighty. Well, it's nice to have extra cash. We could do both of these upgrades. They're probably not gonna get any cheaper. You know what, let's just do it because I'm gonna keep looking at them every single turn and it's going to keep annoying me until that's gone. And forced tribute payments has to stay up for now, but everything else I believe is fine. And we don't really have the money to build anything else here. Was thinking about building black roads in the Road of Skulls, even though... let me just see here. Building slave slums would also be quite useful because of the control in adjacent provinces. Though, it's the slave pens are the ones that are reducing control, and this is for adjacent provinces, which I take it wouldn't count this province, which means, well, let's hope the fighting pits / torture posts can contend with that. Though I suppose if we build the same thing here, it would work. Or we just build the roads, but +5 is also really not that much, although at 2.1k, the place isn't making horrible amounts of cash. I don't know, either way, neither of those things are worth it right now, so we'll wait until we get that sweet, sweet 30k from sacking the Witchwood, a Blacklight Tower. And we can build something here, an artisan's house, perhaps. Yes, okay, and I think we can collect income here, yeah, +33. Or we could allow it to rise for a turn. Well, 500 gold, it's still rising by 33, it's still very high. Yeah, you know what, it's fine. You know what, let's just double check the other province that we're not collecting income from, which is Obsidian Peaks, and you can... 20, eh? It's not really collecting a lot of income, though, and an... You know what, let's give it a turn, until next turn maybe, or something, and then we'll start collecting it. Just to essentially have a nest egg of public order. Anyway, skip. And damage building where? Oh, in Temple of Adioth? Yeah, sure, we can repair it. And we can build the artisan's house here as well. And now we can go to next turn. Swably. Alright, Malekith. On to the Witchwood out of the Temple of Adioth. It does make sense. Adioth is the dark elven god of wrath and flame. And we are bringing both wrath and flame to burn down the Witchwood. I do like that we've got some representations of some other dark elven gods other than Cain in this particular run so far. Obviously, Adioth in the temple. We have Hukon's blessing. Hukon is the god of earthquakes. Also not really mentioned much for the Dark Elves in particular. Actually, other than Kane, the Dark Elves, I believe, tend to mostly worship Aerith Kial, at least in the Malice books. Malice would constantly pray to Aerith Kial, and I'm pretty sure he'd mention Aerith Kial much more than he ever did Kane, although I could be wrong. I mean, he prayed to both, but I distinctly remember him constantly praying to Aerith Kial. Aerith Kial is the goddess of the underworld, so Malice would obviously be worried for his soul, having been possessed by Tsarkan, having his soul stolen by Tsarkan, and also does make sense. But anyway, I digress. This has been your Warhammer lore rant of the day. Someday, if I have time, maybe I'll make a lore video. But anyway, Steven Segalis, I guess you have to stay here. Although, wait. Yeah, we'll be upgrading the Temple of Cain here next, unless I'm mistaken. Naggarond is going to take a while to upgrade, and we don't have anywhere nearby where we can build it. We still have to chase down Hordred Gorefeaster, and that'll be up to Helebron, who is nearly at full HP. You're going to head out to sea, and you're going to land right beside him. You have to land here anyway, and you're going up north. Like so, and this guy, he did indeed leave. Okay, fantastic. That's what we wanted. Would he be able to catch up to you and declare war on us suddenly? He would, so I'd rather wait to get Jaden up here and then we'll move. But we will be moving on Chaos very shortly. Fantastic. Silostra unfortunately did not move. There's a decent likelihood that she goes after the Twisted Glade, maybe to retake it. I would have preferred not to... Well, we'll see. Maybe she'll still go for the Black Forest. Who knows? Who knows? Malekith, are you able to reach the Witchwood immediately? You are not. Okay, fine. We're going to level you up to give you Infamous Raider, because it's going to increase our sack value. Yes, good. And then you're going to sack for a turn right here. And then we'll hit the Witchwood, hopefully. Okay, no, it doesn't look like Grumbrindle is coming here. And oh! Okay, don't you dare attack the Witchwood, I swear, game. Kazarak, why are you even here, Kazarak? I mean, Kazarak's faction, but damn. They better not. I'm going to be so salty if we lose this massive amount of cash just by virtue of them being here. Oh, yeah, it's 35k now. Oh, that's going to be such a great boon to us. We also really don't want them taking Val's Anvil because I think it's the best building that we have or can get in general. Yeah, alrighty. We also need to pop the Diktat here, so Slave Drive. Gotta be careful with the slaves now, considering how much fury we have. Let's get Furs here, and let's get the Artisans building here. Decent likelihood the Beastmen are gonna start annoying us here as well. Let's upgrade you, Darkhold, and I guess you, Darkhold, as well. And I guess now we can start collecting income? Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but our economy, at least, is starting to get off the ground. Which means, I think if we can get it up to 10k, we'll confederate another faction. Obviously, the Confederation will massively lower our income, but yeah, we've been waiting for it. It's not like we have the Witch King's authority needed right now anyway, but we will soon. Okie dokie, and I believe that was all the money. That was quick. Okay, fair enough. And we got one turn until Recruiter Rivaris has Helebron's army, or some of Helebron's army. I do want to check the Death Hags, though. Ambushmaster. That's not horrible. That's not horrible at all. And, oh right, I wanted to try to get an assassin on the field as well. Top isn't horrible. I'm not sure that there is... I mean, these are Cainite assassins. It's not far-fetched to have one in Helebron's army, but I'm not sure that it would achieve much in Helebron's army. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of just what it gives to the army. We already have Helebron to take out single entities. I'll think about it. It doesn't necessarily have to go in that army, and I believe we're good. Morancy, continue ambushing. Jaden, stay here while this guy is good, or this guy's still there. Skip, and Garrison Lord not going to move. Skip, and turn. Alright, let's burn down that Witchwood. Probably should have checked diplomacy, but I'm really excited about the first proper battle against the Wood Elves here. And Silostra, where the heck are you going now? Oh, is she going back up here? Damn. I thought that she'd go after the Black Forest. This little faction is being really annoying. At least she's not going after the Admiral, whatever. Boots of Brachus. Loyalty -5 on Morancy, eh? Damn. It's an armor piece. It's not a bad armor piece, but you know what? If you compare it to something like an Armor of Fortune or something like that, it's vastly inferior due to the lack of ward save or physical resistance on it. That said, the cooldown on Foeseeker would be really good on a hero, especially a hero that cannot acquire the ability to get perfect vigor, so you could repeatedly use it to reduce your vigor, but 5 loyalty is iffy, especially with a full stack. Guess we could give Moranci some troops, some items temporarily. Oh, why not? It's just a dead horse. I'm gonna give this a quick read. A beast master has been caught digging up the remains of Brachus, the legendary mount that once belonged to the beast lord Rakarth, a distant relative of your lord. As the beast master is an influential figure, the lord asks you to adjudicate over the matter. It's just a dead horse. Entombing animals, what has the realm come to? Have the sorceress turn those bones into something useful. Exactly. Alright, off with his head. No, if Malekith wants some boots, he'll damn well get some boots. I am concerned about the loyalty, but nonetheless, it's just a dead horse. Alrighty, so, Silostra, where the heck are you going? And I believe she's unwilling to peace out because she has nothing left. Yeah, I think she's gonna hit the Slaver's Point again. We just have to make sure that we stay away with the with this army. I wonder, are you able to march stance to Slaver's Point? No, it doesn't look like it.
No.
Watch her come back to the Black Forest right after. You know what? I'm gonna put you into ambush stance right here. I actually don't think that she could defeat Silostra's army anymore, but, well, we'll maybe deal with it. Jaden, you know what? I'm gonna have you come down here, not to Slaver's Point, because you probably can't defend it. Though, we could put Admiral Yorn there. Wait, let me think about this. Admiral Yorn could land. What do we have in terms of defenders here? Not that much. You know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll go 300 slaves, like so. That will give us some more defenses in terms of the garrison. Then, Admiral Yorn, you are going to land at Slaver's Point. Like so. And you're going to go into Dread Expansion. And where are we going to get another Son of Murder? Alright, we have First Strike and Cunning. First Strike isn't horrible, but otherwise these are kind of meh. And then Jaden, you are going to march stance right over here, so that if Silostra lands at Slaver's Point, she'll have to contend with all of you together, including the Bold Fiends and the Harpies and whatever else we have. And we will put some stuff in the Black Ark as well, or give some points to the Black Ark. Linebreaker for you. Alright, fantastic. And then the Black Ark Reaver, I still haven't decided which we're going to do out of all this. Currently, your standard, which means what in terms of your weapons? You have sword and crossbow. Wait, don't you... Huh. Ship's Navigator, wait, not the Black Ark Reaver. Oh, sword and handbow, wait. Sword and handbow and sword and crossbow are different. Fire while moving with 360-degree firing arc. Ah, I see. Is that better than the sword and crossbow, which does a crazy amount of range damage? I mean, with the fact that we have the Black Ark Reavers, and... Wait. Black Ark Reavers do 368 weapon check. Oh, they currently have no range weapons. I was confused between the Black Ark Captain and the Black Ark Reaver. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll decide on those, but I think we're still going to try to move towards Silver-Tongued Promises as fast as we can to massively upgrade the Black Ark Corsairs. Oh, upkeep production for Lords and Heroes. That ain't bad either. Okay. Also, do we want to recruit any more Black Ark? 137, eh? Still a little bit on the expensive side. You know, let's get one Black Ark Corsair in here, but I'm gonna hold off on going overboard with it, let's say. Overboard might be the right phrase. Now you're gonna run from us. Can't reach you with either army. Alright, so here's what we'll do. Spite Reach. Okay, well, you have to reach this anyway, so you are going to go into ambush right outside of Spite Reach. Either one of them can destroy this little army. And then Hellebron, you're going to go into ambush right here. We saw Sigvald, he's close to Malice. Alright, like so, and like so. I don't know if this will work, but it's not like they're going to attack Grond. I don't think they can attack anything, but maybe they'll feel safe if one of the ambushes don't fail. Okie dokie, more importantly than all of that, Malekith, you are going to attack the Witchwood and oh, Kazrak is right here. I'm tempted to attack him, but here's the thing. I'm 99.9% sure if we try, he'll move around the mountain. Even though we could get the defeat trait for him, it's unlikely. It's unlikely that we can catch him unless he's super nearby, so in that light, we will have our battle at the Witchwood instead. Do we want to level you guys up? Well, let's level up the Sorceress. We are gonna burninate these guys, and let's put points into Piercing Bolts, Flame Storm, and the Burning Head. And then the Masters, I think we can go without. The defenses are fairly sparse, and I'm gonna fight this just because I want to, not because we need to. Huh, it's back down to 32k, but still, that's a heck of a lot of money. And oh, look, you're out there. Yeah, we're not gonna auto-resolve this because it's their capital, and I kind of feel like doing it, so here we go. Alrighty, here we go. Now, I know that I said I do like the way that the graphics looks, and I still contend that the units look way better, but the one thing I don't like is what it does to trees, and Wood Elf territories are definitely going to be an issue for this in particular. As we can see, the light motes from the, or like the, I don't know, the light coming down through the canopy of the trees looks really bizarre with these graphic settings. It's almost like film grain on everything, even though obviously I don't have, even though I obviously don't have film grain on. But yeah, for this, TAA would probably be better than what I've got going. And maybe if we invade, if we later on end up invading the Wood Elves territories, maybe I'll switch the graphics back just for that particular part of it. But anyway, here we go. This shouldn't be a difficult battle at all, especially if the enemy blobs up nicely for us like this. Malekith's going to cast an Overcast Blade Wind right in the middle of two enemy units, basically ripping them both apart without any trouble. Alright, they really shouldn't have been sitting up there. And they're both down. And there is another, or was it just the one unit? I don't know. Or maybe the other unit got ripped apart so quickly that we can't even see it. I don't know. But the spell was effective. Let's say that. Now I see spears having been dropped, though maybe those were being held by the archers. Anyway, speaking of archers, we've got Deepwood scouts right here, and Malekith's little war party. Him and his retinue are going to move in to attack these poor Deepwood scouts so that they can no longer fire at us. The Swift Shiver shards can do quite a lot of damage if we just leave them there, so we gotta rip them apart quick. In the meantime, though, the rest of our forces moving in, and we should be quickly able to overrun the relatively minimal enemy garrison. There are Sisters of the Thorn here, however, who we should not underestimate, as they are a very scary unit, especially with that toxic venom that they apply. Like Bleed, except even more powerful, they deal out massive amounts of damage. Here we go, though. We are going to focus fire the enemy Glade Guard first, and as you can see, we're not actually moving our Dread Spears forward, as I would like the... I wouldn't want the enemy to run away, rather than taking hits from our Dark Shards, which will kill much quicker than the Dread Spears will. We have our Black Guard of Naggarond moving in on this side, but the enemy has probably rightly decided to focus the Black Guard with both the units of the Sisters of the Thorn, and the Black Guard have taken massive amounts of damage, though not crazy amounts of losses as yet. We are going to be moving in our Cold One Chariots and our Dark Riders with repeater crossbows in to help, hopefully on time. Otherwise, Malekith's retinue and the piles of Dread Spears are advancing. We're not even bothering with sending Dark Shards up this way, because they're frankly not needed. And Malekith can do more damage with his spells than the Dark Shards could. And it's really dark in this portion of the map, and I don't think these guys stand a chance, so we'll watch the fight among these guys instead. Oh, and it looks like we've caught some of the Sisters of the Thorn with our Dread Spears here, so they'll be doing a little bit of fighting. The Black Guard of Naggarond are still in trouble, but now they've got help from the Cold One Chariots, mostly to add mass while the Black Guard back off, so that they don't continue being poisoned. We also have our Dark Shards, who are, or not Dark Shards, our Dark Riders with repeater crossbows moving up to fire into the backs of those Sisters of the Thorn, in the hopes that we can knock them down before they do too much damage to the chariots. Although maybe they wouldn't be too threatening to the chariots. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll see. Alright, there we go. Dark Rider's doing work, but the relatively slow model number, or small rather, model number of the Sisters of the Thorn make sure that they don't die super quick. The second unit of Sisters of the Thorn is out, and it looks like there is a unit of Eternal Guard holding, praying to Eldrazzur as they do. But probably not for long either, as we simply outnumber them. And these are the shieldless varieties, which is also not going to go so well for them, considering all those arrows, or bolts rather, coming in from our Dark Shards. And there we go, that unit is out, the Sisters of the Thorn are out, and it looks like this is going to be an extremely quick battle. Like I said, normally I might auto-resolve this, but I felt like we wanted to play this one. And the last of the units of the field is still at full HP, but rather than bother to fight, they are going to run from Malekith. And as he books it on towards them. There we go, and decisive victory, and the main thing out of all this is not the battle, but the sweet, sweet cash. Alrighty, certainly not a difficult battle by any means, but fun a little one. Those Black Guard of Naggarond certainly took a beating to one of the enemy units of Sisters of the Thorn. Do not underestimate Sisters of the Thorn. In fact, I kind of wish we had an alliance with one of the Wood Elf factions in order to get access to that particular unit. As I learned in my Karl Franz campaign, they can be very, very scary units, especially in SFO. But alas, since the endgame scenario will be anti-Wood Elf, that is not going to happen. Even though I feel like there might be some reasons why it should. Malekith's wife was Wood Elf after all, Sister of Ariel and all that. Anyway, let us sack the place. Yes, we got 3k and 32k. And a little bit of slaves as well, but yes, please. Very, very, very worth it, as well as an Ogre Blade that I don't really care about. Kuran has a Dark Pegasus, but, and a Cold... Oh, the Sorceress has a Dark Pegasus, though that is worth our time, but more so, I think we are going to take you off the Cold One Chariot and put you back on the Cold One, max it at rank 15, so 3 more levels until he gets Seraphon. In fact, just a little bit over 2 more levels until he gets Seraphon. We are going to occupy the Witchwood. No, we're not going to attack Azra. Occupy. I just love to collect traits, and that's why I was tempting. We are going to pop you into, I guess, demand highborn hostages, although if we end up on the edge of this territory, we may actually want to switch briefly to read Dark Portents instead. Though at the same time, reduction of campaign movement might mean we want to go after Glamour Weaver Toltiran here instead. You know what, let's go demand Highborn Hostage first. I feel like from here we can attack the Hag Hall no matter what, then move back up to Val's Anvil, or Ice Rock Gorge and then back up, depending on how many territories these guys have left, and it's 3. Oh, so we can see all 3. Meaning, the best thing for us would be to take Ice Rock Gorge, which okay, fine. If that's the best thing to do, we're going to go for Read Dark Portents for the 30 campaign movement range. If we go Ice Rock, Hag Hall, Val's Anvil, that would be fantastic, but we do have to keep an eye on what Morathi's got going on down here, because that's the way I chose to phrase that. Slaneshi giggle. If she has an army nearby, we wouldn't want her to take any of these territories, especially because of Val's Anvil. Anyway, with that, we're out of time. There's admin to do next time, as we have to complete all that treasury stuff and kick our economy into gear even more with that expenditure, so that's what we're going to do. There's also the potential fight against Silostra, as I believe she's going to try for Slaver's Point, even with the garrison there. She does have a pretty good army herself, and there's certainly, let's say there's concern about what could happen here, but I am excited at the prospect of trying to defend, even though I wouldn't want to lose a Black Ark. We do have at least one Sorceress nearby to help out. Anyway, more Malekith to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to drop those likes and comments, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.